We are a medium-sized metal engineering company. We currently employ 65 people and we are a classical family business and also try to live up to it. Nevertheless, we try to be as modern as possible to be competitive in the market. We build everything from a single front door, window up, to a magnitude of about 4 million euros. We are, so to speak, a general store. We produce everything from fire protection doors over windows, doors, curtain walls. The classic glazing business, so to speak. We are moving increasingly towards commercial glazing, which means public orderers, commercial clients, office buildings, schools, hospitals. And we are currently working to full capacity. Digitalization for a company like us means a challenging process. We have to manage a huge item inventory. Our main supplier provides round about 23,000 items. Since we are not only working with only one supplier, but also with other suppliers, from time to time the item database multiplies. That means you can quickly reach the limit of your capacities to manage these items without digitalization. We invest in machines. We stay always up to date with our software. We try many things, even if we sometimes make bad experiences or maybe are the first to implement new solutions. Nevertheless, this always brings us a little bit further. We made our office paperless over the last years. That predominantly succeeded. So 80% of our office works without printing any paper. Except outgoing offers, which some customers still want to have. For us, the project process, I say project deliberately. Whether small or large, of course, begins with the calculation. We calculate via ERplus. ERplus offers an interface to Logikal. The pure element calculation then takes place in Logikal. We calculate with these two programs, then a quotation is created. The technical order processing planning of our elements takes place with AutoCAD. Here with the Athena add-on, there is an interface to Logikal, in which we can transfer the elements and we can generate these into our drawings. The sections and create our building connections. There have been various challenges with this building. The ratio of our own production was approximately 60%. The rest was purchased parts like cold facade, awnings, lamella claddings, etc. Gross order value for this project was round about 3.5 million euros. The interaction within the software solutions was a big support with this project, so that we could handle this. To build such a building without software, without any connection between the programs, would make it impossible to realize with our personnel capacities. The drawings then come to the architect for approval. We revise our relevant workshop drawings, and these are also saved digitally with us after approval. Both the architect's release drawing and our created plans as PDFs in specific folders. Here I come back to the folder structure so that these plans can be sent to our workshop at some point to the terminals as an attachment to our digital fabrication. Logikal MES is running on these terminals in our workshop. We now have a total of 8 of these terminals installed, and we'll be upgrading 2 more. The big step is, of course, that we manufacture paperless. Digital is always faster, is much more practical. The employees no longer have to search for pieces of paper, which we always have to give to the orders. It means we send everything via the program Logikal MES out to the individual terminals. And here the employee has all the information he needs to be able to process the individual elements or orders. This is a huge step, of course, because it saves us a lot of time, and the information is all compactly stored in one system. So for my job, it has become very clear. Of course, I also have Logikal MES in my office with the so-called Workshop Manager portal or wallboard. Here are the various workstations. And there I see how far each order is from the work step, which means I no longer have to go through the workshop to look and query the employees what the current status is, but I just look in the program how far the orders are progressed in percentage terms. And that is, of course, very practical and saves a lot of time. The quality is already noticeable, but that is still a step ahead of us with MES, which is mainly about fire protection, CE labeling, and the factory production control, which we are starting with. We are now in the process of introducing the factory production control, one general and one for the outdoor applications, which is now required for fire protection. The quality is then certainly noticeable because the employees receive many control measurements or queries from this program, which they have to check themselves and which are therefore no longer left out. But it then becomes routine at some point, and thus the quality standard should be raised enormously here. In terms of system and structure, it is very self-explanatory, I would say. Everything is described very precisely, which is of course very good, very employee-friendly, and therefore the employees have no problems understanding it. We are now in front of the building that we talked about previously in terms of planning. Here it is now, completed, 2 years in use, permanently tested, and I think if you walk around the building you will see the dimension and also the difficulties that are contained in it, because there are so many corners, offsets, etc., interfaces, different building interfaces that you don't see at first glance.
Schnittstellen, verschiedene Gebäudeschnittstellen vorhanden sind, die man auf den ersten Blick so nicht sieht.
If you only see the plan, you think it is a simple building, but if you look at the total work of art in this way, I think it has become a sophisticated object.
Es ist ein anspruchsvolles Objekt geworden.
In our contract we had the complete building envelope. Everything you see except of the flat roof ceiling. This was not in our scope of work, but we did all the work on the building, from atticas to the facade cladding to the complete glazing, which is visible on the outside, including the canopy soffit. Sun protection work, the awning system and the outdoor area was all supplied by us, of course, also calculated, delivered and accounted for. One good thing about our industry is every project is individual and each presents a new challenge.